Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. And you can watch this program on our Facebook and YouTube channel. That's Radyo Pilipinas World Service. And you can hear this broadcast through our audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app and also on our shortwave broadcast on the following frequencies. That's 12.020 megahertz, 15.640 megahertz, and 17.665 megahertz. Let's begin Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
The United States Senate has passed the Philippine Enhanced Resilience Act, or PERA, or PERA, on Monday, December 15, as part of the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. A bipartisan bill authored by Republican Senator Bill Hagerty and Democratic Senator Tim Kaine. This bill seeks to improve $500 million or US dollars in security assistance annually for 5 fiscal years to support the Philippine defense modernization efforts and military cooperation between US and the Philippines. Hence, the total bill is at $2.5 billion. And the NDAA's provisions will open up 1.5 billion US dollars for 2026 as it aims to provide Philippine armed forces with equipment and training to safeguard the territorial sovereignty of the Philippines. And this congressional measure, the PERA, is a testament of long-standing partnership and deep cooperation between Manila and Washington amid growing challenges to security and prosperity in the West Philippine Sea and the wider Indo-Pacific region. So how important is this bill to our national security and to our ongoing deterrence and facing challenges in the disputed territory or in the region? So to discuss this matter at hand, we now have the spokesperson of the Department of National Defense, Assistant Secretary Arsenio Andolong. Good morning, Assistant Secretary Andolong. Thank you so much for joining us in the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is Jerome Toledo.
Thank you very much, Jerome, for the invitation. I'd like to greet you and all of those who are listening and viewing us today. And it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you so much. And okay, so 2.5 billion US dollar military aid is a huge amount. So how game-changing is this military aid, Assistant Secretary Andolong?
As they say, we welcome any form of help in attaining our credible deterrent posture, and we appreciate this legislation by our treaty ally, which shows that they are taking our defense and resilience very seriously. In the next 5 years, it will allow us some headway to acquire what we need, and also it will help us in terms of our interoperability with U.S. forces. So given that we are now catching up on our modernization, which was sort of sidelined for many years, at least this will allow us to move forward with our plans, especially in our third horizon of our revised AFP modernization program.
All right. For the benefit of our listeners, can you tell me the what's in the horizon, as you mentioned, Assistant Secretary Andolong?
Well, in terms of the PERA or the legislation that was just passed by the U.S. Senate,
Mm,
uh, this will focus more on our territorial defense more than anything else. And in particular, our maritime domain awareness, which is important because if we don't see or hear what's happening in our exclusive economic zone,
mm,
we're virtually defenseless. So that's where the focus of this assistance will go to.
mm, mm,
And that was part of the criteria set by the Senate in allowing us to access to this assistance.
mm,
So uh, I can't go into much details because of operational factors and
mm,
security, but
mm,
that is the main concern here is the maritime domain awareness and territorial defense.
mm. But this $2.5 billion U.S. military aid is the highest aid so far, Assistant Secretary Andolong. So, and also there's apart from that, we will have a 1.5 billion US dollars to be given in the first year of the military aid or assistance. So, what are we prioritizing first? What should we buy or purchase with this a lot of money?
Well, like I said, I can't go into much details, but
Mm-mm,
however, it's important that we focus on our coastal defense,
mm,
our ability to monitor and guard our skies and our exclusive economic zone.
mm-mm,
This will also involve, of course, new emerging and disruptive technologies that are
mm-mm,
available now.
mm,
And of course, our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities.
mm-mm,
And more importantly, our cyber defense capabilities.
mm,
We're now moving into the digital realm.
mm.
Uh, we're getting there, so this will be very important for us. And you know how technology is quite expensive,
Yeah.
especially if it changes every 3 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
So having consistent assistance
Mm-mm.
for the next 5 years will be very important.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the interoperability enters here. So it's very important, Assistant Secretary Andalong, that our troops must be knowledgeable in all of the military technologies that we have, especially the U.S. Has advanced military technology so far.
That's true. In fact, in previous editions of our Balikatan exercises,
Mm,
this has been the imperative that our troops train with equipment that's not within our inventory. This allows them to see what is out there
mm,
and gives them thought on what we need to improve our deterrence.
mm,
And it gives them time to train with this foreign equipment, which will be useful
mm,
once we acquire our own.
mm,
So you're right, that is really part of the equation.
mm,
And it's quite certain that
mm,
when we acquire these new capabilities,
mm.
our troops will be there training with them even before they arrive.
Hmm. And acquiring this kind of technology is not free. So and it will be and we will be paying this kind of a military aid should this aid will be presented to us or delivered to us. Anyway, all right. So under the PERA Act, Assistant Secretary Andolong, so it mentions about the foreign military financing or FMF grants. So for the benefit of our listeners who are not military experts, can you explain the difference between a grant and also a loan? So and also this PERA Act, does it fall under a grant or a loan? Kindly explain regarding this matter, Assistant Secretary Andolong.
Gladly, Jerome. Actually, Foreign Military Financing, or FMF, is a program that was started in 1976,
Mm,
which is specifically aimed at assisting the partners and allies of the United States in the form of financing, which can take the form of grants, which basically is free, if you would call it that, and loans, which must be paid. Particular bill, the PERA, I am not familiar with the nuances yet, as I don't have any details on it, but it could be a combination of both. But what parts is not clear to me at this time. But usually that's how it works, and these are usually given to the allies of the United States and partners. So, uh, with the passage of the NDAA that you mentioned a while ago, that was the mother legislation
Yeah.
that opened the door for the PERA. The PERA has yet to be signed by President Trump,
Yes.
and we are waiting word on that, and hopefully it will go a long way in attaining our deterrence.
And we hope that President Trump will see positive benefits of this legislation, because it will not only build trust and strengthen our ties with Washington, and at the same time we will be having a stronger military capability as a nation.
Yes, indeed, and there's no other way to go but up. Being in the doldrums for so long,
Right.
it's refreshing to see that finally we're making progress in our modernization. We are all aware of the limitations we have especially in the fiscal space of the Philippines. Uh, our budget was just passed recently, and capabilities that we need.
But I wonder, Assistant Secretary Andolong. So, under this congressional bill that the U.S. Senate passes, it doesn't have an opportunity to purchase F-16 fighter jets. So, I know. I wonder if you can answer this. Why purchasing F-16 fighter jets not included under this funding?
The Philippine Enhanced Resilience Act is specific in what it's going to be used for. So indeed, it's not part of the program, the criteria. However, the F-16 fighters fall under the multi-role fighter acquisition program of the revised AFP modernization program. So it's a different program altogether, and it's being treated as such, which is why I have to say that uh, we are thankful we welcome the PERA Act, but we are still exploring all possible means to finance our modernization and territorial defense. So we are currently looking for funding for the multi-role fighter program. So it's not just the F-16 that we're considering. Of course, it's now known that the Gripen is also a part of the scoping that the Air Force has been doing, and there are other countries who have offered their versions of the MRF. So it's open to all proponents that fit the criteria of our MRF program. So it's not really part of this legislation that was signed, that was passed by the Senate.
Since our budget for 2026, Assistant Secretary Andolong, will be signed and enacted for the next year, I wonder if F-16 projects purchase is included in the Defense Department's budget.
At the moment, from what I understand, our budget is mainly used for our MOE. That's the operational expense of the AFP and the DND and our bureaus. And the MRF program is still on the drawing board. We have not actually gone into the acceptance of of bids, or we're still looking for, like I said, the
Mm.
financing for the project.
Okay.
So most of the budget will go into the multi-year allocations that need to be paid for the items that we've acquired over the last few years, like the
Mm.
new frigates, the Miguel Malbar frigate,
So.
which need to be paid over the next few years.
Okay.
And that costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But we've already acquired a lot of things like our missile systems. We have to pay for those. So it will go mostly into that, paying for what we owe.
Mm-hmm.
Acquiring new equipment will be a different ball game.
I see. Okay, so meaning to say, purchasing another MRFs is not included in this year's budget. Just to be exact, Assistant Secretary Andalong.
It could be part of the, it will depend on our planners. It
Mm,
could be part of the unprogrammed partition of the budget.
mm,
However, the MRF is quite an expensive
mm,
project to undertake.
mm,
And what we're looking for are 40 units of the MRF. So
mm.
that will require a lot of pencil pushing, as they say.
Uh-huh. All right, I see. Okay. My last question for this particular topic, Assistant Secretary Andalong. So, since we have FA-50s in our lineup in the Air Force, do you see any upgrades that our FA-50s will have for this year?
Actually, it's now in the works.
Mm,
The first batch of FA-50 PHS will be upgraded with new goodies. And
mm,
the new ones that we're acquiring will be the upgraded version of the FA-50. So to your question, yes, there are
mm,
now going to be upgrades for the previous set,
mm.
but the new ones that will come in will include the upgrades already.
Okay. So, meaning to say the FA-50s will be upgraded into, and it will be used as a, multi-role fighter.
Well, technically, it's a lead-in fighter, which means it's not a real multi-role fighter. However,
Uh,
it is capable of fulfilling that role, although it's not designed to carry as much payload and ordnance
mm,
as an MRF, but
mm.
it can fulfill that role if need be.
I see. Okay. Very well said. Okay. So, going back here to the PERA, which is the U.S. Congress approval of the military aid here in the Philippines. Okay. So, what could this be funding mean for our bases, particularly on EDCA sites? Do we expect series of upgrades on our on EDCA sites facilities?
Again, I can't go into operational matters,
Mm,
but it could be because you know when you acquire certain capabilities, they will require shelter, maintenance.
mm,
Of course, we need to a place to put them in,
mm,
and it's quite possible that the sites of the EDCA sites will be um, locations for these capabilities. Although I must stress that the EDCA sites are within Philippine military camps, and we have control over the EDCA sites. So
mm,
these may not go directly into the EDCA sites,
okay.
but they could share some space with them.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, I'm down to a few questions, Assistant Secretary Andalong. So, with the assistance running from 2026 until 2030, of course, we will. This is unavoidable, but there will be a leadership change both. From the Philippines and and the United States side. So, how stable is this $2.5 billion dollar commitment over the next 5 years? In your personal opinion or in your own view, how is this stable?
Well, I think it's a question that probably the Americans can answer. But you know how policy goes.
Mm-hmm.
A change of leadership can mean a change in policy.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that's why I mentioned a while ago that we're also exploring other means to finance our modernization.
Mm-hmm.
in the event that policy will change in the U.S.
Mm.
And for us, of course, just like the U.S. government, the Philippine government is prone to change, unfortunately.
Mm.
And we do hope that the continuity of our resilience programs and modernization will continue,
Mm.
no matter who runs the government in the Philippines.
And that should be the priority of every leader of the country to prioritize military and also addressing national security as well, Assistant Secretary Andolong.
Yes, in fact, I have to mention that the NDAA, which was passed by the Senate, is a reflection of the desire of the U.S.
Mm.
to enhance the resilience of its partners and allies
Mm.
in the region.
Right.
So that was the one of the main reasons for it. And I think our policymakers should take cognizance of this, that we can do no less for our own defense, and they must prioritize our credible deterrent as well. Uh, we owe it to our people and our nation.
And our lawmakers should see that, given that the U.S. is remains a constant partner, friends and allies.
Yes, indeed,
Mm.
indeed. So
Mm.
far, they've been consistent in their words and deeds, and we hope that this continues.
Mm.
There was a lot of talk when the U.S. national security strategy was published. There are questions about the continuity of the U.S. stance here in our region,
Mm.
and I think the NDAA and the PERA show that it's still there. They're
Mm.
still backing the region.
And indeed, we still got the backing of the U.S. Regarding our issues on the territorial issues in the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea, and among other things. Okay, my last question, Assistant Secretary Andolong. So, should we receive this grant, particularly this PERA or the Philippine Enhanced Resilient Act, how do we ensure transparency and that every centavo of this grant goes directly to our defense capabilities?
Good question. The Department of National Defense has always been transparent, especially when it comes to fiscal matters.
Mm.
However, in terms of the actual capabilities, they are shrouded in operational security.
Mm.
However, we do make announcements regarding those, and we just have to be careful on not letting our adversaries know
Yeah, right, right,
these key capabilities are.
right.
But one thing good about procuring defense material, you can see it, you can touch it.
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's
that's
really
right.
evident when they come in,
Mm.
the world knows.
But
Uh, so
mm-mm.
it's not difficult to be transparent in terms of the items that have been procured.
And people and also we will be since this is the location is somewhat uh, what do I call this, but anyway, the people can see what's going on with the projects of how many equipments or what type of equipments that we are acquiring without disclosing where it is being delivered or something like that due to security concerns.
Yes, actually, every time we have a major exercise, uh, the equipment is there,
Mm.
uh, can be seen, and usually we announce tests and demonstrations.
Mm.
But we also have our commission on audit who keeps an eye on how we spend our centavos,
Mm. Right.
and uh, we have no room for foolishness in the Department of National Defense,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
what we're trying to achieve is really difficult in the first place, our
Mm-hmm.
credible deterrent. And we have no room for shenanigans in terms of funding these programs. Otherwise, we'll be doing a disservice to our country.
That's
So it's
right.
important that we attain our capabilities at the soonest possible time,
Mm-hmm.
and of course at the most cost efficient way possible.
Mm-hmm. And that's how national Department of National Defense should deliver. It should be delivered fast and without delay. All right. Thank you. All right. With that, thank you so much, Assistant Secretary Arsenio Andulong, the spokesperson of the Department of National Defense, for sharing us analysis regarding the Philippine Enhanced Resilience Act and how is this going to affect our national security and also to building our capacity as a nation. Thank you so much, ASEC Andulong.
Thank you very much, Jerome, and thank you to Radio Pilipinas World Service and our viewers this morning.
Okay,
Have
thank
a
you.
good morning.
Thank you. All right, and front and center, we'll be right back after these short messages.
This is a public service announcement.
Alamin, ito ang walang pasok guide batay sa DepEd Order No. 37 Series of 2022. Sa panahong may bagyo, automatic na walang pasok for all levels sa mga lugar na may nakataas na Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal o TCWS number 1, 2, 3, 4 at 5. Automatic suspended naman ang klase at trabaho kung ang TCWS ay inilabas sa oras na nagsimula na ang klase. Para sa mga lugar na hindi kabilang sa TCWS, ngunit nakararanas ng malakas na hangin o ulan, nakadepende kay Mayor o kay Governor ang desisyon sa suspensyon. Tandaan, sakop lamang ng DepEd Order na ito ang levels K-12 sa mga pampublikong paaralan, ngunit may option naman ang mga pribadong paaralan, state or local universities and colleges na sundin ito.
This is a public service announcement. Public service announcement
From PBS, Presidential Broadcast Service, and Radyo Pilipinas.
And we're back here on Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And just an update before we go. Senators Sherwin Gatchalian expressed confidence that President Marcos Jr. will not veto the proposed 6.793 trillion peso national budget for 2026, saying the spending plan was crafted in close coordination with the executive branch. On Sunday, Senator Gatchalian said both chambers worked closely with the executive to ensure the final version aligns with government priorities. And the Senate and House of Representatives wrap up their bicameral conference committee meeting on December 18 after reconciling differing provisions in the budget bill. The session was publicly live streamed for the first time to promote transparency. And as the chairman of the Finance Committee at the Senate, Gatchalian said he is optimistic that the 2026 budget will effectively respond to public needs. And the Congress is scheduled to ratify the bicameral report on December 28, so that's next week. And Gatchalian added that the drafting of the General Appropriations Act, or GAA, or the Enrolled Bill is underway and still done manually. Senator Gatchalian said the Congress is studying ways to automate the process using new technologies to make budget preparation faster and more transparent. So that's what they see on upon deliberating the budget. So there's still challenges in presenting the budget and preparing the budget. And the senator also announced plans to activate the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on Public Expenditures, which has been dormant for years. So that's a good development that the both houses or both Senate and House of Representatives will now activate this Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on Public Expenditures so that they can coordinate well when it comes to budget discussions. And the panel will conduct a regular oversight, possibly monthly or weekly, on key government programs. And Gatchalian emphasized that the committee will operate year-round, not only during deliberation on the National Expenditure Program. And he noted that the many agencies request funds that remain unspent or are not utilized properly. And as we mentioned earlier, the Congress is scheduled to ratify the bicameral report on December 28th. So after that ratification, it will be sent to Malacanang for the review of the president, and eventually it will be signed if the president will not veto some provisions on line item budget. So we will be watching these developments regarding the budget as this budget for the 2026 will be soon approved or will be signed soon by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. And that's as we say, that's a public fund, and we should be watching this development. And with that, we now conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service, together with our technical team, headed now today by Mr. Hiro Lucero. Also on our Warcast, we have Justine Osias, and she also oversees the audio streaming platform. And this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.